Coomer marketing. This really isn't anything new. Anybody who knows anything about advertising knows that sex sells. And I've noticed that this is especially prominent on these Spanish television channels. Let me tell you, as a former American retail worker, I've watched a lot of Telemundo. It was on at least half the time in the break room at Best Buy, and luckily somebody was kind enough to turn on the subtitles so that a unilingual mongrel like myself could understand what was going on. And there's actually some pretty good shows on Telemundo, by the way, pretty good plot points, but I was never able to skip past the commercials. They were always like kryptonite to me, because every single commercial had a smoking hot Latina babe holding the product in a lustful way, convincing the horny part of my caveman brain that I needed to consume the product in the hands of this Latin beauty. It doesn't matter what it is. Pepsi commercial, hot Latina babe. Car insurance, hot Latina babe. SSRIs that might cure your depression but have a 5% chance to make you snap and go on a shooting spree that the media will report on by blaming the guns instead of mental health problems and the sketchy pills that are made by the pharmaceutical industry that have side effects worse than the original diseases that they're meant to treat. Well, if a hot Latina babe is telling me that I need to take these pills, then mass murder is just a risk that I'm willing to take. But a funny thing happened in the past few decades that changed advertising. Well, maybe on the North American English channels, but not on Telemundo. They still have the big booty sexy Latinas. Never changed Telemundo. But on American television, the bikini-clad babes, they started to disappear, and instead were replaced by strong, empowered women, shilling products with their intelligence and charisma instead of their beauty. Now, this is perfect if you want to sell Subarus to career-driven women in their 30s with no kids and 3 or more cats, but Coomers can't coom to empowered women driving a Subaru. Which brings us to the age-old dilemma. How can a multi-trillion giant international corporation market their products to 2 different groups of people with diametrically opposed viewpoints at the same time without the corporation actually taking a side? In this case, we've got the feminists and the Coomers. But then, the CEO of Samsung had an amazing idea. How about, instead of paying some hot actress to advertise our product, we just create a cute anime waifu to shill all of our Galaxy phones? Now, I know what you're thinking. Sam? She isn't even that lewd. She's not very curvy. She's not wearing anything that would really show off her body. She pretty much just has that cute girl that works at your local cell phone store who you might try to flirt with as she activates your new Pine phone only for you to spill spaghetti on the floor look. But there are rules to the internet. And no, I'm not talking about those stupid terms of service rules that YouTube and Facebook arbitrarily enforce. I'm talking about the fundamental rules of the internet that have existed since its inception, long before big tech got their global homopaws on the web. The 34th rule of the internet states that if something exists, there is porn of it. And already there are thousands of lewd or pornographic images of Sam peppered all over the internet. Sam has only existed for maybe a month or two, and there's already more lewd depictions of her than there are accurate biblical depictions of seraphim. This is like the Lady Dimitrescu lewds all over again. I still can't figure out what this game is actually about, because every time I look up gameplay of it, there's just some guy with a fly swatter chasing around this giant vampire woman to try and spank her with it, and then she grabs him, and then her weird fly children show up, and I don't know. Can't figure out what it's about. But what's next? Is an Elon Musk cat girl going to show up on a kitty litter commercial and make ahi gal faces while she's taking a crap in her litter box, and then some weeb is going to chase her around with a pooper scooper to clean up after her? Are the Charmin bears going to start wiping each other's gaping buttholes on the packaging of their 3-ply toilet paper after taking turns giving each other blumpkins? Am I going to have to witness Wendy getting spit roasted by Ronald McDonald and the Burger King guy every time I go through a drive-thru to get a milkshake? Now you're probably thinking, small titty, big butt, anime waifus shilling corporate products are pretty darn degenerate. Surely we have reached the bottom of man's perversion and will soon rebound onto the ascent to righteousness. But oh, You couldn't be any more wrong, my friend. You see, anime girls do not get any older. They don't have a birthday. Their physical appearance is impervious to time, erosion, and also age of consent laws, which means it's only a matter of time until corporations start using lollies to peddle their products. And now that I think about it, there's been a lot of effort put into preparing the masses for this new wave of advertising. Step one was canceling Hansen vs. Predator. That show was simply too powerful and too effective at not only actually catching pedophiles and entertaining people by them going to jail, but red-pilling boomer parents about the fact that their 14-year-old daughter might be on Omegle doing live cam shows for pedophiles. And I like to imagine that the more vigilant parents actually decided to get involved in their kids' online activities to make sure that that wasn't going on, instead of just watching reruns of Law & Order SVU for the 1000th time. We saw spin-offs of this vigilante justice on YouTube with independent people trying to find pedophiles online and catch them just like Chris Hansen did. And the people discovered that it's easier to find pedophiles on Discord than it is to find an obese person eating at McDonald's. And it pretty much just became a meme at this point. Like, yeah, of course Discord mods are pedos. That's like one of the basic requirements to being a Discord mod. We saw the media try to push the Cuties documentary, which was probably a bit of an overstep, a little bit too soon for mainstream media to play that card, because even regular people are still aware enough to see that that is a problem. But just you wait, they'll probably try it again in a couple years. We saw how the media memory hold Epstein, and how if you bring it up to a typical normie, they just say, ha ha, Epstein didn't kill himself, instead of remembering the important part, which is that he literally ran a pedophile island used to blackmail and control the most powerful political figures and businessmen on the planet. In fact, I have some insider information that several big tech CEOs have been attending seances, where they use Ouija boards to contact the now deceased CEO of Lollies, Jeffrey Epstein, to negotiate the licensing term of using anime lollies and underage girls in their commercials to push their products. Mankind is on a very dark path, and it's only a matter of time until the public psyche is fully prepared for corporations to usher in their new wave of underage influencers. Expect to see femboys used to advertise motor oil. Expect to see TikTok turned into a corporate recruitment platform for underage talent, although it probably is that already. Expect to see every anthropomorphic character become more and more sexualized as we advance towards the collapse. But don't fret, my friend. Try not to be too black-pilled, because the pendulum of society always swings back to the other side. And the pendulum has been pushed so far back that when it does swing the other way, it's going to swing really, really hard.